All right, folks, we're back. I'm just going to get some tweet stuff out about this, but we have the finals starting here in a moment's time. Currently, we're waiting on Solar, who needed to go to be right back. I mean, I love that he politely asked, but it's really like, yo, dude, it's the finals. You can take a break whenever you want. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, ByuN versus Solar. This is an absolutely fantastic finals. A little bit of an all-star matchup in my mind, although I know what I find really interesting is it's agreed upon this point. ByuN is like the best. But Solar, I feel, is also a really fantastic player, but not everyone shares that opinion on it. Have you noticed that?
Really?
I feel like he gets underrated a lot of the time when you start seeing like write-ups or people tweeting or Reddit threads about him. I don't know. Like I really like Solar. I'm super pro Solar.
I guess I guess maybe you're giving him more credit than I've heard other people do recently. So in that way, I know what you mean. I don't think your credit is undeserved. I don't think you're in the wrong. I think it's more just like you really have to be quite flashy in your wins and your amount of wins to stay as strongly favored as ByuN is, because Solar really hasn't had that good of results lately.
That
like,
much
they're
is
okay.
true. Yeah.
They're expected, but they're not like, oh Jesus, oh my God.
Well, it's just for me. I guess I remember the moments that are like him busy, like you remember when you and Zephyr cast in the finals. He's like, oh, I don't know if I can beat Innovation. Like he's a machine, and I'm scared. And then like he wins, no problem. Like so, it's for me. I see that I guess extra element of it, which might give that maybe we'll call it a bias, I guess. But either way, Solar, of course, recently picked up by Splice. ByuN playing for Team Expert, but not a lot of people know that. It's like find rather humorous.
Yeah. I forget it every time, and then I'm like, is that a team? Oh, that's right, he is.
Expert's got to be like the chillest team though. They have like no requirements for these guys to advertise that they're on Expert. Like you really wouldn't know ByuN or Scarlet or Bly. Like they don't really tweet about it. They didn't change their Twitter handles. They don't have the tags in game. Like unless you're at a live event and see them with a jersey, you're probably not going to be reminded that, oh yeah, they're on a team.
True that.
But either way, I'm glad that they are on a team and they've got that support because, ladies and gentlemen, we're in the finals. Checking my color privilege in the top left, we've got the blue Terran player, ByuN.
In the top right is the red Zerg player. He is Solar.
I got our good mutual friend Annie calling me out on my color game.
I saw her tweet, but I didn't see what she was talking about.
I said the wrong color for the player, and what I was really trying to do was set a precedent that I was colorblind, so I could later, like a month from now, make a video getting the colorblind glasses that let you see color and pretend to cry and make a big deal and then get a few million views on YouTube out of it. But I've been foiled because she called me out so early, so if it weren't for those meddling kids.
Meddling blue-haired kids.
Yep. Is she blue-haired? I thought she was green-haired. Yo, am I actually colorblind?
You'll never know.
Are you colorblind?
I could be tricking you.
Okay, well, regardless of that, absolutely fantastic setup for the finals. Yeah, we talked about before, Splice, very new to the StarCraft scene, picking up Solar, but also picking up stats. Really excited to see what this team can do with these players and what the players can do for the team over the course of 2017. ByuN's Team Expert, like, if we're going to be honest, I think it's one of the rare cases. Like, I really cannot think of a single other player I would say this for. Expert was, like, lucky to get ByuN, not really the other way around. Because ByuN, lack of a better phrase, he don't need nobody. He was without a Kespa team. He was shunned by Korea entirely, and he still ended up being the best player for 2016.
Yeah, he didn't really need anybody, but still, I imagine, you know, whatever they did, it was quite a good deal. I don't think he just took the name because they offered it. I think he was like, you know, I'm pretty good. I don't need you, so give me a lot of money. At least I hope he would.
I mean, without a doubt, if I really am, I'm not saying this from like a critical standpoint. I'm not trying to sound better than anyone who works on the team, but just as a fan who enjoys ByuN and wants to see him do well with his team, if Expert can get the branding out a little bit better, I think he'll do great things for them and vice versa.
Sure. It doesn't seem they really care, though.
Yeah. This Reaper is unfortunately not going to get a lot more done. Maybe it'll sneak on somewhere else, but back on the other side of the map, ByuN is actually going to get an Overlord kill, and that's kind of big on Solar this early. Not only does that deny scouting, but as we can see, a very nasty supply block.
Very nice. Definitely not supposed to happen for the Zerg player losing Overlord that quickly. It is also, of course, the 2-1-1 from ByuN, so I expect him to win. Although he did win that Overgrowth game and didn't open up 2-1-1. It's not always the case. That's the only way he wins. The Solar goes for an earlier single evolution chamber. Maybe it's just getting more popular lately, in general. Faster +1 Carapace, and then you can catch up to it later with +1 melee. Oh well, keep paying attention to that. Just droning, but soon enough, Medavacs will be on the way.
Yeah, Evo Chamber finishes up. I wasn't sure if maybe he'd still try and make this Overlord into a drop Overlord or not, but looks like for now, just gonna go for Carapace upgrades and play a bit safe. I guess we weren't being super critical of ByuN in his openings or anything this time around because it is a little bit more of what we expected. Perhaps being a little harsh on him in the last series, but he was playing a little bit weird and certainly paying for it at times against ByuN, who was just, again, a very good, very hard, very scary player.
He was. Well, the 3x Reaper just didn't do enough, and that was, I think, valid to be critical of. The third game with the 3cc, the only criticizing was that it doesn't play to ByuN's strength, and well, ByuN's strength is this, so it's not even much to talk about there. You just all know that 2-1-1 is his jam. So it is going to be a lot of lings for Solar. He's actually getting a fairly quick Baneling nest too, and no lair quite yet, which is fine. Like, that makes sense. But I was like more questioning the lack of droning. Like, he could technically try and counter after if he really took care of this quickly, but I feel like it never really works that way. So I'm a little surprised he made 10, 12 additional lings. There's the lair. And he's droning really hard now. Also getting 2 Banelings. I'd actually say that it looks like Solar is a little scared. You don't need 37 lings for this. You don't need Banelings for this. But you do need it for the follow-up medevac, which is like coming, of course, you know, a little bit later.
Yeah, ByuN's number 3 medevac is always the one that's way more important and way more deadly than the first 2. But still, as far as what he's trading out for right now, it's like 1 Marine dead, 2 Queens, 16 lings. Not shabby. Oh yeah, and the Overlord from earlier too.
Yeah, this is really like, you know, very like specific, probably not going to actually affect the game that much stuff. It's just that Solar probably could have gone for a few less lings and still been okay. But he's still getting, you know, the appropriate drone count. He'll push this off eventually and get his 4th base. His upgrades are on the way, although they will be later than ByuN's.
This is one of the downsides to Habitation Station is going to suck for Solar, though. Main to 3rd is really far apart as far as up and down goes, so responding to drops up here and deflecting down here, he's going to have to pull himself thin. And he's going to have to split precisely.
Well, 2 Banelings, 3 Banelings in the main actually are usually enough with like only a handful of lings. Maybe a Spore Crawler would be a little bit better in the main too. Really stop ByuN from trying to do that, and this is looking like a pretty good defense. Solar, almost got a medevac. That would have been really nice. As long as we had a mutas.
I like that he didn't have to burn a lot of transfuses, and as we can see, excuse me, he's replacing the creep that got lost and continuing to spread it pretty easily. Creep spread is huge against ByuN. Every little bit of area counts, and every little bit of extra speed you can get on top of those Marines with the Banelings, with the Lings, it could be in the world of difference of making a fight work or just fail. But it's interesting to see. Oh, Solar's gonna get a nice block over here, but it is interesting to see ByuN's going for this gold as his 3rd.
I think it makes sense. I think Terrans are the ones that are usually gonna be able to get away with that unless it's a TvT. The danger, of course, is if muta count gets high enough, there's kind of no defending it. Even if you get as many Misters as possible, they'll balance you in the gold base and the main base, if they get the muta count up high enough. Until that happens, I think it's pretty safe. Why isn't the 3rd base landing? It's not because of the skin feed, is it?
No, I think the creep was still spreading when he was last there, so now he's been microing these medevacs. So probably hasn't looked back home. Now there's 2 lings under it, and that's kind of annoying.
Okay, well, there you go.
Wait, how did those got there really quick? Because I looked away for just like 1 second, and suddenly lings were there. It was like a magic trick.
Nice, see me.
Alright, well, Scantipede will not block this out either way. You will finally land that up. You see that thing try and go in there to block it, though? What a dick! God! Okay, real talk. Why are critters a thing? Like, over the years, I've become less and less like stoked about critters. Now they're just like annoying a lot more than they are anything.
I like them. I've always liked them because I think like the same reason that when you were young and you named your Marines, they popped out.
What?
What? You never did that? Like when you were like 8 years old and you were playing games, you didn't know how to play, but you knew that you knew like you liked stories and you would actually like make stories up with your units. You wouldn't actually worry about winning the battle.
Here's Timothy Marine.
Not quite like that, but point is like I really liked going around and clicking on all the critters in Brood War, vanilla StarCraft.
I did in Warcraft, but as long as you can click them enough times, they explode into a nuke.
Well, that's just... Don't do that. Don't hurt.
Don't. Oh, this Widowmine's reached really far, but unfortunately more harm than good. And as we see, ByuN is pushed back off this. Solar with a really nice army supply too, so this goes badly for ByuN. But luckily, he does have that third base mining. He's got plenty of income to keep pumping out these Marines. But Solar deflecting pretty much every attack so far this game. Very nicely done.
Yeah.
Not so much there, though. That Widowmine got a lot of lings.
I'd say that that attack down the ramp on his fourth was really good. I think ByuN lost a bit too much there to be called effective. He does have his gold base up, and he has his production, you know, pumping out, and he doesn't have to worry about his macro for some time, so this should be where his attacks really shine. But he's down 12, 15 army supply. Solar's finally evening up at least his carapace upgrades, and he is on his way to a 5th. So that's looking pretty good.
Yeah, I actually really like the idea of a 5th over like a 4th at the gold. I think for Zerg, you're just going to get more benefit out of it. Not only is it larva, it's different angles which your larva comes in from, plus... Let's be honest, that gold is just asking for trouble out of ByuN. But Mutas trying to come in. Second turret was being made. Unfortunately, going to have to get canceled. But this turret's going to trade out with some of those Mutas. And that's not too bad for ByuN. But the Muta's not really the emphasis of this game so much as it is this horde of Lings and Banelings down here. This cluster.
Cluster. Oh, Solar's going to go for a very large attack on the 4th base. That's sure to be a cancel, I think. Yeah. Even if ByuN has his army in position, if they get one surround for like a second.
Well, he's not actually going to get in there.
Never mind.
Widowmines do not have the drilling claws, so it's not instant burrow.
Oh no, that's a really good pick off.
Any burrow.
Oh.
I feel like if those had burrow, they could have gotten really good hits too. Either way,
that wasn't supposed to.
No, certainly not. A lot of things going well for Solar this game, and he's moving on to Hive Tech while this goes on. So, not gonna be forced to sit with Lings and Banelings. Not gonna be forced to play with just Mutas.
Where are his Mutas?
They've been flying around the middle, just constantly going back to the golden,
Right.
in and out.
Yeah, not too much damage done for mounts, but I like that he upgraded the Carapace. I think that even if you're not planning on using them in a direct engagement, which eventually you're going to have to, I still think Carapace is, I don't know, the cooler upgrade to have. Not a cancel on the 4th base, but a lift off is still good.
3 turrets, that is approaching Jockshi levels if I don't want to deal with Mutalisks.
Yeah, I think it's appropriate for the gold base and Inhabited Sensation, though. Put 2 Widowmines near there, too, and I don't think the Mutas are ever going to tango with it.
Ooh, that Ling fight went really badly. He's making 42 new ones to try and replace it. The Mutas do come in to clean up the rest of the Marines, but things are not on the other side of the map. These Banelings crash in on ByuN was not quite ready for this, as we saw the splits were a little bit late. Widowmines were not down, and this goes so badly for ByuN. Solar, who had lost a few Lings, now takes a 40 army supply lead over the Terran.
This is a very good game by Solar. Like, he... You know, he had like maybe a bit of an over-defense in the early game, but that gave him enough units to split against ByuN's eventual double drop, and then from there, ByuN couldn't do any damage whatsoever.
I think ByuN's really on the outs at this rate. I mean, the Ultros Cavern's coming out, and he's still making Marines and Widowmines. That's certainly going to be a cause for alarm. And Solar, actually, I guess, is a little bit behind in his Carapace upgrade, so he's not going to quite have that +3, but Chitinous Plating will certainly help bridge that gap of time. Won't need damage. That's what the Banelings are there for. 28 of them now.
I don't think he needs ultras, so just be able to do it.
Yeah, the game might end before they come out, but I mean, it's something he's definitely gearing towards.
Fairly good Widowmine hit right there.
But still, not going to be good enough. Mutas continue to push these medevacs back. Banelings rolling in off of creep, because why the hell not? And there are those ultras in production.
Yeah. ByuN not willing to give up yet. He still has Marines Medivacs, but is absolutely going to be game. Cannot. If you get a 4th base, I think you just kind of maybe 1 or 2 drops, then turtle, and you get to like 150 supply, and then there's something to be said there. But without a 4th, and the main command center doesn't really count, I don't think you're making up for 50 army supply.
Creep spreads fast. Jeez. Watching a time-lapse video. Oh no, Solar has all of his Mutalisk caught down here at the bottom. Small bit of complacency brings that kill count up to 19. It brings his total count down to 6. I mean, Ultras are certainly cool, and I'm glad he has them out, but moves like that are what brings ByuN back into the game. Reinforcements that have been cut off. Lings with this very nice counterattack. Get from behind. They've got Adrenal Glands too, so they're tearing through anything they get their claws onto. And oh, this base is so oversaturated. All the mules are here. ByuN's money is about to disappear if he doesn't pull these away.
GG.
Solar takes the first game in the series. But lucky for us, the StarCraft fans, this is a best of 5, not a best of 3. So we're going to take a small commercial break while we set up for game 2. It is going to be ByuN's map pick. I'll see you guys soon. All right, folks, welcome back. Game number 2 underway here for the BTSL finals. This is, of course, the second BTSL we've ever thrown, and I think we've had some pretty fantastic finals. Game number 1 was already pretty awesome. Let's hope for more awesome games like that. In the top side, we got the blue Terran. It is ByuN.
In the bottom position is the red Zerg. He is Solar.
And some of you guys may be asking, like, what are they playing for? Each week has a $100 prize pool, $75 to the winner and $25 to the loser. But more importantly than that, they are playing for a chance to get to that $400 monthly finals. And all this money and sponsoring for this tournament comes from Twitch, powered by Twitch, if you will. It's really cool that they came to work with us. And, of course, the best part about this, for those who also don't know, this tournament has been fully budgeted out for the entire year. So even if we weren't here to cast it, we could technically still have someone else cast it and run this tournament all 12 months, 4 times a month.
So even if you guys finally managed to kill us,
yeah,
still couldn't stop StarCraft.
Although, in fairness, I don't think it's the folks that are watching right now will be the ones wanting to kill us. It's the Reddit trolls and the people who can't stand Rifkins of the world, etc.
Oh, sure. They're probably still watching, though. They're just not chatting. Pretending like they don't watch.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I've got it muted.
Exactly. Muted and paused, but still watching.
Anyways, Solar had a pretty good game 1, and what I liked about it was there wasn't anything cheesy. That wasn't like a 3-Rax Reaper or a Bailing Bust or anything. That was really solid macro out of both players, and ByuN did the build that ByuN does best. And I was most impressed that Solar deflected it so efficiently. I don't think there's any way ByuN ever attacks you and you take no damage, but as we saw, Solar, who I thought initially took quite a decent amount of damage from ByuN, immediately shut it down afterwards. And he was in position for all the drops. His queens were ready to push back, and his macro just nailed it. I mean, 5 bases, macro hatchery in the main on top of that. He had no problem making hundreds of links that game.
Right. Yeah, I think the beginning of the game looked okay for ByuN, even promising, as he kind of scared Solar every now and then it just very quickly turned into Solar's defensive macro game, which ByuN did not keep up with well enough, not trade well enough with. So kudos to Solar. Could be different on Vani. This is ByuN's map choice, and he is going for a different build. I don't think he's going to do any better just because he doesn't go for a 2-1-1, as long as Solar bothers to scout at all. That's like the one thing, is that if you do just think, oh, ByuN's going to do 2-1-1, so I'll prepare for 2-1-1, that's when you might die to ByuN's other builds. But as long as there's any scouting whatsoever, I don't think ByuN is any better with other builds. Like, I don't think he's going to be tricking you into getting 10 Hellions into a mineral line.
That also kind of makes me realize, too, that might be why we start seeing some of these other builds. I'm thinking back to, by the way, Innovation streaming recently, you know, whether jokingly or seriously, Zerg's Imba, and I know that ByuN's had those complaints too while streaming when he has like lost streaks and such, but maybe that is some of the variation in the build where like we see these Hellions, we see these builds that we personally aren't like super big fans of, but maybe it is really just his only other option.
Yeah. Well, it's never bad to have different builds. It's funny because ByuN almost never seems to do as well with them. Whereas Innovation, I would say Innovation does whatever he wants, and he almost always looks convincing. But ByuN is going for this Hellbat push with Stim, I suppose. That's actually kind of curious. So it's usually either Stim or an Armory, and then like 3rd CC or not. But to get both here, push with it, that'll be quite surprising. If Solar doesn't have a Baneling Nest, which he probably won't, because you usually don't need one until your lair's, sometimes even when your lair is done, which is like a long time from now, you will just die to Hellbats.
Yeah, that may be the case. I don't know. The Hellion's already going down, though. This is kind of bad because you want to keep these alive, obviously, for the Hellbats. Tries to do some pickup. Micro ends up losing out on this. I mean, this really failed for ByuN in terms of like a little attack, because what should have been 5 or more Hellbats is going to be barely 3 for this. 4 Marines with Stim? That's not a lot of damage.
Right, and only 4 Marines, so this is very weird. It's not really a dedicated 2-base all-in, which you say Hellbat Stim, and it sounds super crazy, scary, but it's just not enough units to really make it scary. So what it is, I guess, is just some pressure into a 3rd CC, and you already have Stim, which is more about time, investment than anything else. Very interesting. Oh, this is already doing damage, and the Lings are gonna have a tough time taking care of it.
Yeah, the Hellbat should be able to create this like impassable wall, I guess, of flames and death. Marines bring the damage to do a little bit more. We had some Hellbats walk down the left side of the map simultaneously. I mean, maybe for ByuN, it's not about the build, it's just about how you play the units, but one medevac goes down. That's not great. He's going to try and get the mineral lines. Once again, the Hellbats have got a lot more power to kill these Lings than they do anything else. And the Marines desperately need to stay away from everything else, but these Hellbats don't get to trade out the way it wants to. ByuN now has 8 army supply. Hellbats over here got cleaned up as well, and this was a good defense out of Solar on both fronts.
It was pretty good, but it really wasn't that bad for ByuN. ByuN's 3rd CC is done. He's added on production. Of course, he already has Stim, so he'll have combat shields with the follow-up push. And he kept Solar's drone count pretty low. Solar was building other things besides drones in that entire time. He already has a 4th base, though, so very quickly he will get up to a good drone count. But he even, I think, stalled out Solar's lair. This feels maybe a little bit late, but not, like, terribly so. And this follow-up attack could do more damage or be distracted by a single one. There you go. As Solar still is droning.
Yeah. I think for this, it kind of sucks watching how little army supply there was. For me, when I watch ByuN play the game, I think take away the analytics, take away whatever forecasting, just from the fan point of view, I love that he never seems to stop attacking. But there's a huge lull in the attacks as he tried to recover off that.
Yeah, not as big as it could have been. Actually gonna just target on the hatchery, maybe? Like, it sees that it's really low, he's gonna get it. And he's still gonna get quite a few Lings beyond that? No, he's gonna leave. He could have gotten more Lings, and maybe the Queen, but...
I would have loved to have seen him to get that really low and just leave it while he trades out the best he can, then execute it on the way out. But... again, a hatchery kill is a hatchery kill, and he gets it to shut down a lot of income from his opponent temporarily. But Solar already had a 4th base down. He's got a macro hatchery in the main. This kind of sucked for him. I think losing the Evo Chamber would be a bigger deal than that hatchery, to be honest. He's going to focus it down again, though.
Okay. Nicely done. The Spore Crawler will finally be in position, which will really help stop these drops. But ByuN has done a lot of damage killing that 3rd base, even if Solar did already have a 4th and his drones too. And he has caught up, and then some, on upgrades.
This is cool. I like the way ByuN was able to handle that, but... can he shut it down a 3rd time? That's the real question right now. 1-1 for the upgrades. Lots of Lings out of position. I know he wants to, but 2 Queens and a Spore Crawler, I think he doesn't get back in here so easily.
No, but he could go to the main, like, and just trick and... as long as he's on a Spore Crawler, then he could unload and still take a good trade with the Lings. But
there's 3 Overlords here.
That's good too. It's scan, get a lot of crew tumors.
Big attack meanwhile on the left side of the map, but Solar's ready for this. Banelings for position. We got Spine Crawlers down already even.
Oh, okay, that one would have mine kind of reached to the heart of the army. And that was pretty good. He did scan on the creep tumors to the right side and is now going to go for even more Overlords. Solar was pretty late to his Spire and is really hurting on Larva, I guess, because he's banking a ton.
Well, it blows me away. I don't think it's... I guess it might be the larva. I was going to say with a macro hatchery, it shouldn't be, but you're right.
Yeah. I think he just missed a couple of injects, having to move his queens around, losing one or two every now and then.
Oh.
Plus, at a certain point, you want to be spending on more expensive things. Muta's Infestation Pit, Hive. And, you know, Mutas will make anyone look like a good macro player because they, you know, 100-100 is a lot easier to use your larva on than all these small little things. But maybe just be game over before you can get to Mutas.
Jeez. I don't know what to say about that game, Zombie. I thought that went so badly for ByuN, but then once he got past the Hellbats and started using normal units like Marines, yeah, he kicked it into high gear.
Yeah, I think that attack did more than we give it credit for in terms of like interrupting Zerg's macro and rhythm. And the follow-up really was going to be brutal because you had already committed the time into Stim, which I think other Hellbat attacks with Marines don't have that. You know, it's like the 6-7 Marine drop with the Hellbats, and Stim is only just starting. So,
well, Solar is going to be going with Overgrowth. We squeeze in a quick break while we get that up, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in and watching, and we'll be back in 2 minutes with game number 3. All right, folks, you're joining us just in time for game number 3. Things are tied up now 1-1. It's spawning the bottom left side of the map. We got the blue Terran, ByuN.
In the top right is the red Zerg. It's Solar.
So I'm really glad I grabbed my heater, by the way. While we were on break, I decided to Google and see how cold it was outside. It's apparently -11 Celsius, which means my room is probably about -8 or so, I would guess.
That's pretty cool.
Feels cold, man.
They're getting better at judging Celsius to Fahrenheit.
Well, I think it's pretty safe to say that anything negative Celsius is going to be bad. You don't even need context for it.
Yeah, but like negative in Fahrenheit would be brutal.
That's
I think
true.
negative in Celsius is not. It's you know, it's cold, it's bad, but it's not brutal. It's like 11 degrees Fahrenheit has happened with like strong winds, and that actually made me want to kill myself.
Whoa. All right, well, guys, we got some resubs to get caught up on. Thank you to Crazy Enough for the 10-month resub. Thank you to Godland for the 2 months. Saldus Dub for the 35. And then Digital Misanthrope just sub now. And I think we missed these two to be safe. Thank you too early for me. 19 months. 19 months of entertainment. PogChamp. Gotta give a shout out to Black Panther 11 who threw in 100 bits with a Venture Brothers reference. My name is Dr. Henry Kittinger, and this is my magic murder bag. And that was a terrible impression, and I apologize. But shout out to the Venture Brothers reference.
Well, it sounded great to me. But don't know what you're referencing.
Hey, quick question, Zombie Grub. Is Austria a part of Germany?
Is it? Yes.
It's where Arnold Schwarzenegger's from.
Okay.
Okay, so
Why
are you
talking about this?
Wait, so you're saying yes, Austria is part of Germany?
No.
No? Okay, so you're saying no, Austria isn't part of Germany?
Correct.
I'll let you wallow in that for a little bit. I'll explain
Why'd
it later.
you ask?
I just said I'll explain it later. The command center
Well, it's...
Because I actually thought Austria was part of Germany for a little bit as well.
Okay.
And
no.
For me,
it's not though, right? Like...
No, it's not. Austria is its own.
Yeah.
Like, there's like... Go back to the Ottoman Empire days and stuff like that. But anyways, I didn't mean it in terms of like, oh, I'm stupid, I didn't know. Like, I knew Austria was its place, but for me in my brain, because of Schwarzenegger, that's always like where I aim for German accents. And someone pointed that out to me while I was doing my personal stream the other day, and I was like, whoa, never really realized how far off of the German accent I was.
Speaking, isn't it?
It's Austria, Zombie Girl.
It's German speaking.
Don't say this with confidence if you don't know.
Hold on, let me Google this. Speak local Bavarian dialects of German as their native language, which I don't know what that means. They're like, I don't know what that means. Is it German or not? An
But see, this is my
Austrian German.
thing.
Apparently, it's like English, I guess.
But so here's my thing though, right? I feel like many people are probably in the same category of like unintentional idiocy, and I'm wondering how, like, if I did a straw poll or something.
Yeah, it's certainly one of those things that you can trick question anyone on. I have to say, because like my first initial reaction was like, no, it's not part of Germany, because you asked me it like that. I was like, wait a minute.
I know you did. I could hear the double take. Anyways, Hellions are down the middle of the map. There's actually a lot with this, and it is worth noting the armory's done, as we can see. Transform and roll out. This is going to be a much more vicious attack than the last one, because ByuN was like poking and harassing with small drops. This is actually a pretty big consolidated force. This is not exactly a new build either. This is like a really old build, but I love the control of the medevac. He pulls it to the side, trying to focus it down. Looks like Solar will kill the medevac. That kills the staying power of this attack.
It does, but it already did quite a lot of damage just by forcing out this many lings and doing this much chaos. Like, not much has actually died yet. Finally, a queen goes down, and a couple drones, a handful of lings. This is even a second queen, actually. But even if it didn't do direct damage, I think the amount of indirect damage it's caused is really good. So I would say this is a really good attack. Solar, of course, was an expecting attack this early. Everything else they had to deal with is a 2-1-1 attack a little bit later. It was the Hellbat drop last time, too, which had that stim timing. It was kind of weird, and well, I'm paid for not expecting it.
Look at everybody being so wrong about Austria and Twitch chat. We don't even need to run a straw poll. It's all the people who are like, Rifkin, you're wrong. Zombie, you're wrong. No, like, I'm blown away by how many people do/don't know where Austria is.
Yeah. Well, okay, so here's one thing. Like, I was almost going to suggest doing this at Nation Wars, and then I realized it would be at the expense of me, so I didn't suggest it. But it was like everyone else is from Europe, right? So, like, they all have a much better idea of where things are in Germany, or what, like seriously, even, like, what you call certain parts of certain parts of Europe, like, between their names and what they're actually called is, like, the people, right? Or, like, what language certain countries speak. I would have gotten it so wrong. And I was going to be like, just make me try and like find places on a map, because I swear to you it would be the most terrible thing in the world.
That's you just put a blindfold on and point. Follow-up attack comes in, by the way. Maybe you can still get him to do it for the Nation Wars Finals. Embarrass yourself just a little bit more.
God, no.
All right, Canada is not America's shorts. Oh, wait, America is Canada's shorts. Yes, that's true. Thank you, Costco. Damn it. We can't do geography. We just can't.
On your head.
We just... It's like that stupid kid running around with his underwear on his head. Like, what are you doing, man? But yeah, I think it's at this point proven many times over. Zombie Up and I know nothing about Europe. Just, this has got to be our...
I know more than I did before.
But even then, that's still not much.
It's true. It's very true.
Anyways, regardless of our poor geological ignorance, I will give a shout out to Germany, by the way. Our recent geographic, I guess, statistics of who tunes in from where has shifted a lot over these last couple of months. And before, it was always America, I think Canada, Germany, everywhere else. Germany's actually been rocking number 2 for the last, like, 3 months straight.
I'll give Rick to Canada.
Yeah, well, shout out to Germany, more so. Because Korea's also been creeping up that list. Korea went from, like, number 7 to, like, number 4. And I'm guessing it's because we've been doing a lot more Korean content. Like, I'm fairly sure that's why, but...
They can't go anywhere else for it.
Ooh.
No.
But yeah, it's interesting seeing the way it shakes up. But U.S. has always been number 1, and by, like, such a large margin, too. Like, U.S. dominates.
Number 1.
Boo. I hope...
Woo!
I hope you guys win Nation Wars. Oh, wait, you can't. Who knocked you out again?
I hope Scarlett carries. Because, God, she's the only good Canadian.
Yo, say what you want.
Really
Semper's bringing some good games. Like, actually.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to shit talk anymore. Like, objectively, I was
You know what? We lost all our good players, right? Like, Huck, he could just be Canadian or American, whatever he wants to be, you know, depending on the day.
Shapeshifter.
We lost Xenocider, you know, and then there's all the upcomers that never actually came up, like Intense.
Ooh. Yeah, Ariam rage quitting the scene. That was embarrassing.
Oh god, Ariam's rage quit was embarrassing. That's like Oh, okay, never mind. Anyway.
Don't speak ill of the dead.
Anyway. This is a fairly sizable push. ByuN has 30 more army supply, which is just like a little bit too much. It's like that fearsome part, you know? And the lack of creep spread is really scary too. So it could get a 6 around at this position, and that might be enough. But I think ByuN would still trade well.
Oh, look at the Europeans boasting about all their knowledge in chat. Congratulations on your better education system. Whatever, nerds.
Okay, but like, it's not true though. Like, they say that like that's like, you know, such a big deal. But I know that a lot of Europeans don't know a lot about like American states, for instance, or like Canada. What is even Canada? Prime Minister, President, who knows?
We have provinces and territories.
Yeah, like I swear to you, they'll be like Toronto. Isn't that like a West Coast city?
Well, Banelin's gonna try and break this door down. Looks like they will break the door down, but the Lings aren't gonna be able to run it anytime soon. There's a couple of Widow Mines behind this. I like that ByuN quickly replaces this because Solar was thinking about going back in. Meanwhile, double drops on load in the main. Ling's gonna try and trade out for this. Not gonna go so hot for the Zerg player because ByuN just picks up, flies away. For Solar, actually, there's been a lot of emphasis on our lack of geographical knowledge for a moment, but I didn't really notice. He didn't go for mutas at all. There's no air whatsoever to chase down these medevacs. That quicker hive I don't think is necessarily going to be worth it because ByuN dies when he stops having medevacs to maneuver with, not when he runs out of marines. He never runs out of marines.
That's a good point. It might end up working if he's able to defend 4 bases, which he's been doing so far. Or barely enough here. But ByuN is on his own 4th base soon enough, and there's the drops you're talking about. I was gonna say Liberators too.
Yeah, this one actually just sits up straight up above the hatchery. Doesn't give a good gosh darn. Oh, yeah. If he gets the ultra camera before Kindness play completes.
Oh, jeez, Louise. Yeah, that's probably. Well, it's not quite game, but that is like huge. That is everything Solar was working towards, man.
Yeah. I mean, that's a big part of skipping past most of the layer. You want to get that Ultra Scavenge out fast so we get those upgrades done soon. Perhaps Solar dived a little bit too fast into dessert. Should have ate more of his veggies. Needed that Mutalisk roughage in his system.
Roughage? A fancy word for leaves.
Yeah, because, you know, humans, we eat so many leaves.
We eat basil. We eat
basil or basil?
But that's not actually a thing, is it? You don't actually call it basil.
Basil's like a British dude, I think.
Yeah, it's like a British name. I've been like, I think you just be wrong in this one, Rifkin.
Basil, where's my basil at? Could use a little bit of.
Oh god.
All right, the Lings actually have gotten quite big in numbers, but ByuN's army supply is still monstrous. Like for almost every engagement point in this game, he's been ahead 30 army supply. Finally, now he's ahead a pretty nice worker supply on top of that. So the game just keeps getting better and better. Widow Mines go down. They get focus fired into the Ultralisk, but has to pull away. The Marines end up dying so very badly to the Banelings, but there's more where that came from.
That actually didn't sort of, wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. But ByuN, 4 bases. Gonna take out this Ultra eventually, and if he just saves his production, he'll be okay.
You know what this build out of ByuN's gonna be called?
What?
Well, actually, most builds out of ByuN. The infomercial build. Because wait, there's more.
There's more. That sounds like one of a Zerg build though. Like aggro oriented.
GG ByuN. Now with a 2-1 lead, is almost won this series. But again, the emphasis is this is a best of 5, not a best of 3, so he still has to win 1 more game to lock it all down. It'll be Solar's map pick, and we will once again run into one of our last sets of ads for the day. So stick around, guys. 2 minutes. We'll see you for the finals. Well, maybe finals. Possibly. Shut up. We're going. Yeah. Hey, folks, we're back, and with no hiccups whatsoever, we're going to get into game number 4. Just kidding. It's like we've had to remake it because Solar apparently wants to play Terran, despite not playing Terran.
Yeah.
Liquipedia says best of 3, though. Well, you know what? as someone who made the tournament, is casting the tournament, organized the tournament, I must be wrong. I guess this is over. Congratulations, ByuN 121, guys. That's it. Show's over. Let's go home. I don't give a fuck what Wikipedia says, guys.
Wikipedia is all-knowing.
I feel bad because I know there's a lot of fans who actually wish we would update our Wikipedia stuff more frequently, but I don't know or care to know how to learn to use the site. So, I don't know. My focus is on making tournaments. That's what Rifkin likes to do. So, anything above and beyond that, it's like,
No, it's super easy to write stuff in the spaces. I just don't have I don't want to update all the scores.
There's that part of it too, right? Like it's a lot of extra needless work on top of everything that goes into this stuff.
Yeah.
But anyways, folks, welcome back. We are in game number 4, and this could be it. We'll get those shout-outs caught up in just a moment. Spawning here on the top. Nope. Spawning here at the bottom right side of the map, we got the blue Terran player, ByuN, playing for Team Expert.
In the bottom left is the red Zerg. He is Solar.
So I will say, actually, I forgot I was going to nerd out about this a little bit, right? One really cool thing that happened recently is, if you guys were watching, GSL started pulling stats from BaseTradeTV events. And this actually happened a little bit last year. I think they were quoting Ting. I think it was Ting. But one of our bigger events. What I was really tickled pink about, though, is to see that they're referencing things like Make Korea Great Again, Alima Leagues. Like, it kind of validates what we're doing a little bit, but it's also cool that it helps influence that other tournament, even if it's very small and indirectly. It's a cool feeling. It's just like you're contributing more than just a small little amount, I guess. I don't know how to phrase that differently.
You're making an impact in everyone's lives.
I guess. You know, I read that. I'm going to mess this up so badly. I read this really cool motivational quote recently, though, where it was like, I wanted to change my country, but I couldn't, so I tried to change my town, or my nation, and my nation was too hard to change, so I tried to change my town. I couldn't change my town, so I tried to change my family, and I couldn't change my family, so I looked into myself, and I changed myself. And then after that, realizing my new self was like better, I helped influence my family, and then my family being better off because of that helped change the town, and the town changed the like it was kind of this cool like backwards forwards sort of quote. But that's kind of a little bit how I look at the stuff. Like, okay, maybe we can't do BlizzCon, and maybe we won't be able to do like what's under BlizzCon, and so forth and so forth. But I think as long as we keep doing really good things for StarCraft, we'll have an impact.
Yeah. No, it's a nice quote. It's a nice idea too. But it's also like, well, if you had to change yourself eventually, then it's a good thing you couldn't change the nation first, because apparently you weren't very good.
Yeah, there's actually this whole other thing too. SNL, I guess, did where they're talking about Oprah and how they're saying like, oh, so whoever fired Oprah before she was Oprah was stupid, and I can't remember her name, but the black lady from Ghostbusters, where she's like, no, it's good because if you didn't fire Oprah, you never would have made Oprah and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's true. Yep. Inspirational quotes and semi-quotes and
yeah, it's definitely semi-quotes.
Fake memories of skits coming at you.
Well, actually, truth be told, I've had a lot of problems with motivation recently. Not cast. Like I wake up and I cast. I got no problem. I love doing this stuff, guys. But like trying to push myself further. So I don't know. Reading things like that is oddly inspiring, as cheesy and lame as it might be. Watching other streamers has really been a big inspiration too. Just watching them succeed, and I don't know. None of that has anything to do with this game. Just got a little bit off topic into a very real feeling. But ByuN is coming across the map with Hellions. So I guess game 1 goes to the 2-on-1, has no success with it. In all subsequent games, decides to play Hellions. And for whatever reason, it seems to be working versus Solar.
Solar isn't quite sure which Hellion build to expect. It could be the Hellion in 3rd CC. It could be the Hellion Hellbat Stim thing that he did on Vani. Or it could be what he did on Overgrowth, which is actually what it is. So if Solar doesn't have Lings, Roaches, Banelings, Queens in proper positioning, like any one of those things helps out a lot. But if he's just thinking it's a regular game, he'd be in a lot of trouble again.
Yeah. Well, the Hellions are poised on the front lines and ready to move in. The medevac quickly comes across the map, but yeah, I mean, there's the armory completes in a second. The Liberator is certainly a new aspect to this, which could add a new layer of danger. But if all the Hellbats and Marines go down before that Liberator even gets up in the first place, that might not matter.
Well, the Spine Crawler's not done, but it can buy some time, buy some shots. The Lings try and help, though, and that's not gonna happen.
No.
Why is that focus firing anymore? Oh, no. Okay, that was actually a lot of healing done from that medevac. Shouldn't have been there.
Yeah, so we're starting to lose control.
He is. He's already taken too much damage, I would say. It's just a question of does he die or not here.
Well, so the big part of this was killing queens means there's actually nothing left to shoot said Liberator when it comes in. He could actually park that thing right over the hatchery.
Yeah.
Hellbat's transforming. Gonna just keep buying time on the ramp. That base isn't mining, which is just as good as the drones being dead. Pulls them away for a second. A little bit of lag.
No.
Oh no, who is this? Don't be Rifkin! Oh,
it's you!
No! How and why?
It's you!
Oh my Jesus Christ.
It just shut up.
Oh my. I'm at the.
If it makes you feel any better, you didn't lag when you thought you lagged. It took another 2-3 seconds, so the drones were already lining up.
I know, but it's. If this is how the series ends, we don't get to see the very end of it. Can you share screens with me real quick? Can we? Oh
no!
Wait.
Get back!
I'm back, baby.
Okay, so he just killed 3 drones. He got like a ton. Oh, very, very low.
That is unfortunate. Luckily, though, this wasn't like drop frames. This was actually just StarCraft related this time around. So I don't know what's up with that. I guess
so much damage.
Yeah, Solar lost 8 workers only, but it was more about everything else around it. Where did that Liberator end up going, huh? It's right with the main push, I guess. Kills an Overlord.
Took a long time, but it did it.
Yeah, good job.
So, ByuN did a lot of damage there. He still has, Solar still has time to recover as he has to get a lot more drones, and ByuN has to wait for stim, but that was definitely detrimental to his momentum. Liberator is going to cause further lost mining here.
By the way, Shroom5 just reset for 25 months. It says we're helping him stay sane in the hospital. Dude, I'm so sorry that you're in the hospital, man. But I'm glad we're helping make it bearable. I hope whatever's got you down gets better soon. Also, I guess
Love has him down.
Maybe
That's
what?
why he's in the hospital. A broken heart. Love's got you down.
Oh. I mean, that's actually incredibly sad.
Oh, okay. There's a song called Lollipop.
Lollipop, lollipop, lolly, lolly.
That is not the song, but that is another Lollipop song. Good job.
So, is that the one where you go to the backyard? Oh no, that's milkshakes. Never mind.
That's the front yard. What the? Well, actually, does Shiver specify?
My milkshakes bring all the boys to the yard. They're like, do you want to trade cards?
It doesn't actually specify if it's the backyard or front yard.
Because I've got a Charizard. By the way, Patton also resubbed 5438TC, The Untouched Matrix, and Obsidian Disnu. Thank you guys all so much for your continued support on the channel. Dust here just now as well. But while this goes on, there's actually a counterattack. Solar is coming with a force to be reckoned with. That's a lot of Lings and quite a few Ravagers.
Oh no!
ByuN's forces might not be adequate to deal with this.
If the Lings just went to the Hellbats immediately and all got slaughtered, the Marines could probably take it on eventually. But because they did it, they went for the SCVs right off the bat. 20 SCVs have already gone down.
Oh, there we go.
There, the Marines finally get a bit of freedom.
But the problem is you see 22 SCVs dead and you're like, yeah, but then also 3 CCs worth of mules are going to be dropping and you're kind of like, no.
Yeah, and Solar like cut drones obviously to do this, so he's only at 34 to begin with. ByuN is actually in a pretty fine position, even if he didn't never remake some of their SCV.
Yeah, Solar's continuing to go pretty hard with the all-in, and this tank setting up is just a huge deal to push this back. The Viking landing contributing to this as well, which was kind of cool, but as you pointed out, drones were cut. More Lings are coming across the map, and there's more than enough Marines. There's a good Sim City setup here, too. And that tank, if it moves up a little bit, is in an even better position to hold this. ByuN's probably thinking, like, was he really crazy enough to all in? Look at that, just Lings to the slaughter. GG.
GG.
ByuN, ladies and gentlemen, will take the series 3-1, and our secret off-screen predictions ended up being correct. Because we were like, it's ByuN. You know, he always does this. He loses one game and comes back to win it really hard. Do you think he does it again? And we both said yes. So, good to see ByuN still being about as predictable as ByuN is.
Look at this.
Oh, hello, oh my god, his face is buried in your fucking tummy. It's so cute. Oh. Did he just crawl onto you like that last game?
Yeah.
Look at the way his arm's on you too. Oh, your cat's so cute, Zombie Grub.
I know.
Oh god. All right, well, folks, thank you very much for tuning into the cast today. Congratulations to ByuN. I will be paying him in Solar out shortly, but this also means you'll see ByuN come back for those monthly finals, so that's pretty awesome. Apparently I had the score wrong for that game. Whatever, my bad, guys. Who won the last? I don't even remember who won the last one, because they're the ones invited back too. So we got Stats won last week's. We got ByuN winning this week. That's already 2 out of the 8 players that'll be going through to those finals. That's awesome. I hope they'll both be available and they'll both accept. But what's kind of cool about this is our next cast, then we got nothing tomorrow. So Saturday is completely free. But Sunday will be actually the very first team qualifier. It'll be the wild card qualifier this Sunday. So should be some good games and good times over there. Thank you guys for watching, however. We are going to play a commercial break. And then when we come back, before we say our goodbyes, we're going to show off some pictures of the new team house that we have set up and all this goodness. So if you want to see a small preview of that, stick around. If not, thanks again for watching and have a wonderful day doing whatever it is you guys plan to do. But to show you guys some pictures of the team house is something I've been waiting all stream to do. So see you guys soon. Okay, folks, welcome back. So Zombie Grub had to go because she has a meeting she has to get to. I didn't want to hold her up for this. And I was just going to be showing off really cool team house pictures and talking about prospects of the house for the next few minutes anyways. So let me pull these up. Norgret sent me these earlier. I guess I'll throw them all up on the screen really quick and we'll just go over them one at a time. Bloop, 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 bloop. Okay, this seems to be the biggest one. Let's grab this first. Who was that just sub? Stelios! Stelios Cantos! Thank you for the 11-month resubs. Is Woot one more to the Partoof? Hell yeah, dude. Getting real close. But anyways, this is the main gaming area. I showed this one off a little bit earlier, but this is actually quite spacious. I was worried that the place we got would end up being really small, but as you guys can see, there's actually a little bit of a balcony. It's not a big one, but it's a little bit of one. We got the 2 desks on the left side. That's going to be 2 people per desk is the idea. And currently on the one side, we're going to have Cloudy and Time, which are 2 Chinese players. And on the other side, we're going to have Major and Kelazur. On the right side, that's where Scarlet and No Regret will be staying. And, of course, hopefully more people as the year goes on. Let's get rid of that. Next one, I guess, is this one. Whoop. This is, I guess, one of the rooms. So there's actually, the way we've got it set up is there's going to be an area for the Chinese players. Like, they're going to have their own room. We're going to have the 2 guest rooms for, like, the players coming and going. Scarlet's going to have her own room. And I think No Regret stays in one of the other 2 rooms. So it's pretty nice. The mattresses here are nothing too fancy, but there's nice closet space, and I guess the previous tenants who owned the house left us some stuff to use and play with. Oh, I have no idea which of these is next. Okay, there we go. I guess a quick shot of the bathroom. It's not super big, but it's bigger than the ones I had in my hotel when I was staying in Korea, from what I can tell. Zombie Grub was saying this place looks pretty nice too. She actually got to go there in person while she was staying in Korea for the extra time, so she got to see the way all this stuff looked in person. But supposedly it's more than enough room to easily share all the bathroom space and have no drama, no issues with the other members of the house. I guess another shot, one of the other bedrooms, couple of mattresses laid down. Again, nothing super fancy in terms of beds, but providing a place to sleep and all this stuff. We're still furnishing a lot of the house right now. I hope there's a picture of the kitchen area though, because I went over the kitchen area actually with Jake on Skype earlier. Oh, here we go. So this is something that's not super conventional, which is like an almost full kitchen, I guess, for Korea. So we've got, you can see on the right side, there's a washing machine. There's going to be drying racks. There's even like a mini dryer. There's an oven, gas stove, microwave, fridge, all the stuff you'd want in a kitchen. And as you can see, it's a pretty big area too, so you guys should be able to cook and do whatever they need to. We're also planning to sort of fund a maid to come visit the place once every couple of months, so that, or a couple of weeks, excuse me, so the place stays clean and it's a nice environment for everybody. Like, before I continue this, I want to make it clear, like, none of us really have experience running a house like this, much less running a house that's not one that we own, that we live in. So a lot of this is new, and we're going to definitely make some mistakes over the course of the year. But we want to make sure that all the players are happy. This can be like our #1 priority. We want to make sure we get good content out of this. We want to make sure the house is successful. I've said it publicly before, and I'll say it again here. We're not planning to make any money with this house. We're certainly going to lose a good couple $1,000 investing in the players' well-being. But it's a cool project for us, and I really hope that it works out well. And again, I guess another one of the shots of another one of the rooms. The reminder, of course, is that the $30,000 security deposit we put on the house, when we get that back, we want to make a tournament out of that. So it's really important to us we keep the house clean and safe so that we get the security deposit back so we can use the $30,000 as a prize pool instead of losing it to like the realtor. So we have a lot of things planned out. I guess, oh, here's some of the other beds that were set up. So this was something they went out and purchased some of. Again, we had a couple of things left behind, like the stoves and the washing machines. Had to go out and get some beds for the place and furnishings. And I guess here's another shot of the bathroom, the tub included. I guess this is a different bathroom. I thought there's one bathroom, but I'm guessing this is two. Actually, where's that other picture? We can compare it. Yeah, this is definitely a separate bathroom, I suppose. Unless, did they buy a tub? I don't actually know. I'll have to ask. I thought there was only one bathroom. I don't know. I've never gotten to go to this house myself, which is unfortunate, and I probably never will over the next year. But I want to, again, very publicly, I want to make sure that this is as good for the players as possible for practice conditions and all that good stuff. When the players are there, all they're going to have to do is pay for rent and food. Beyond that, it should mostly be covered. But people asking what house is it? This is going to be the BaseTradeTV training house. This is going to be the BaseTradeTV house in Korea that we're going to be using to house people. So if you guys don't know more about that, type !mega in chat. You'll get a more detailed video over there. But again, as of today's the first day we actually own the house, which is super sick. So No Regrets moved in. He's getting everything set up. Over the next 2 days, we're getting all the equipment and the extra computers and monitors over there too, so that when Major and Kellizer arrive, they can just sit down and play. And then, yeah, as the year goes on, we'll have more going. But the big thing about it is the fundraiser we're running, guys. Again, whether you've got a couple of bucks in your pocket, like $2, $100, whatever you're willing to spare. We haven't really started pushing the fundraiser super hard yet, but we want to make sure everyone's aware of it. We've got a lot of cool content set up. We got fundraiser events made. We got rewards that have not been released yet, but are going to be soon. So I hope that this will be a big success. And I think $30,000 should be a totally achievable goal. When I think about it, when we did Hell It's About Time, sure, StarCraft was like a little more popular than it was now. However, you had the Carbot fundraiser get $70,000. Hell It's About Time raised $27,000. Take TV's Home Story Cup event ran, I think, like $18,000 or $20,000. The point was like there was almost $100,000 in StarCraft that month from fans and fundraising. So I'm really hoping that over a year we can get $30,000 raised for this. And if we can, it's gonna make for one fucking awesome tournament. I'll tell you guys that much. What? BaseTradeTV? You guys are opening a gaming house in Korea? Yeah, dude. Yeah, this is something we've been working on for a while. Therian Gaming says, is this permanent or just for a few months? This is for 1 year. This is for 1 year exactly. Like I said, we put the security deposit down. We could easily get more than a year from this if we wanted to, but the idea is that we have 1 year on this house and that the $30,000 security deposit comes back after 1 year, and that's the prize pool for a tournament. So, by the way, context for how that fundraiser is going to work. We want to raise $30,000 for things to help the players. If you look on the rewards list, one of the big things is I think at $16,000 raised, we can cut down the rent costs of the players by half. So suddenly people who stay in the house only have to pay like less than $200 a month to come train in Korea. How awesome is that, right? But the other thing is, if we don't raise $30,000, like let's say whatever reason we can't get it, our fundraiser doesn't reach its $30,000 goal. All that means is we take money out of the prize pool. So if our prize pool is originally set to be $30,000, but we have to pay $20,000 for a venue, then the prize is only $10,000. So that's where I'm really hoping we can make this fundraiser a really big fucking awesome thing and have like the craziest, biggest grassroots event. But I think that's all I really have to say about it, guys. I think it's going to be good times. I look forward to the project. I'm super excited to be working with a lot of people to make this happen. And Blizzard's going to be helping us produce some of the video content too. So whether it's a tournament every week, whether it's vlogs from the players, you're going to get a little bit of an extra look at these guys and their training regiments and their practices and all this good stuff. So again, thank you so much for watching today. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. But that pretty much wraps it up. So we'll be back on Sunday. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I might rebroadcast this later. I don't know. But yeah, have a good one, guys. Before I take off, who can we host? Who's streaming right now? My usual crush, Loser Fruit, of course, is an option. Stats is streaming, which is cool. Van Ruki is streaming World of Warcraft. I think we're gonna go host Loser Fruit, guys, because I actually have been. I talked about the inspiration stuff earlier. Watching a lot of her stuff where she's been trying to get motivated has really helped me get motivated to do things. So when you get to Loser Fruit's channel, give her an Ace 1, Ace 2, and if you don't have Ace 1, Ace 2, just type base trade in all caps, base raid if you want. In fact, we'll go with base raid. So again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you later. Bye bye.